Alrighty, here we go. Kabbalah. I had a recommendation to talk about Kabbalah, and without doing a ton of research, I'm just going to give my spicy take and then go from there. So, just to make sure this is not some exhaustive video about Kabbalah, this is basically just my opinion. Don't take anything in the preceding video seriously at all. This is my own very biased opinion of it. And yeah. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and get into it. So, Kabbalah. It's basically esoteric Judaism. As you get, like I said, esotericism is something that big brain folks get into because, maybe they read, like, I don't know, Ride the Tiger or something like that, by Evola. And like I said, it's such spurgy nonsense, in my opinion. Kabbalah, I think, was something that a lot of folks got into, particularly people like Madonna got into Kabbalah for this more esoteric form and everything else like that. I had done a video, if you find it, talking about the origin of the use of, go forth and prosper, from Spock, from Star Trek, where Leonard Nimoy describes that this is part of something that is called, I believe, in Yiddish, known as dukening. Dukening is basically like scaring away evil spirits, this and that, and blessing a synagogue. That's the whole idea of it. So, you spread your middle finger and your ring finger, and you spread that apart, and you do that, hopefully if you can, on both hands. And there's a lot of wailing. People cover their faces, this and that. And it's a whole process. Like I say, that, you get into, like, Shekhinah and a lot of Hebraic stuff as well. So I think there's kind of elements of that in there. But I think, Kabbalah was a big thing for a bit of time, but then it kind of fell off. To me, I don't really see Kabbalah as a legitimate sort of thing, to be honest with you. I think a lot of folks talk about it. I mean, I'm looking at Britannica right now, so let's see here. Jewish mysticism, 12th centuries and following, oral tradition, to avoid the dangers inherent in mystical experiences. Esoteric Kabbalah is also tradition inasmuch as it lays claim to secret knowledge of the unwritten Torah that was communicated by God to Moses and Adam. Though observance of the law of Moses remained the basic tenet of Judaism, Kabbalah provided a means of approaching God directly. It thus gave Judaism a religious dimension whose mystical approaches to God were viewed by some as dangerously pantheistic and heretical. Are traced to Merkava, Merkava, like the tank. Go ahead and see here. Oh my goodness, I'm. This is almost as bad as Wikipedia, where it's just like I'm going down the rabbit hole, but just a little bit. I'm not going too far. 12th century. Spanish Kabbalah, Lurianic Kabbalah. There's not much here. Okay, let me see what Merkava is. Just chariot. It's kind of it's also the name of a tank. Let's see here. Chariot of God became an object of visionary contemplation for early Jewish mystics. Merkava mysticism began to flourish in Palestine during the 1st century AD, but from the 7th to 11th century, its center was in Babylonia. Like I say, there was a time when a lot of celebrities, you would see them with that little red string tied around their wrist, which was a sign that they're, in Kabbalah. I personally just think it's, something that in general, they're weird LARPers, I'm sure, that believe it. But it sounds like it's one of those things where it's like, the Freemasons and stuff like that. It's something that you don't see regularly. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it exists. I'm sure that there is power out there, but it's something that it's like, how many Freemasons do you really know IRL? How many? Like I said, maybe you can tell me, a few names. That's not to say, oh, I don't believe it. I'm sure it does exist. But the thing is, though, you don't see Freemasons around like that, do you? You don't even see these folks around. Very rarely do you even find out, it's like, oh, you've known somebody for like 10 years. Oh, you're a Freemason? I had no idea. It's just some guy that you work with, right? So that's my take on it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it exists. That's not to say you have to ignore it, but to me, it's just something that it's not something to really concern yourself with. Don't fall down these rabbit holes. It's very easy if you have a lot of time in your hands to fall down these rabbit holes of, I'm going to study about Kabbalah, or I'm going to study about Freemasons, or I'm going to study about, the Illuminati, or this and that. It's just like, that's something I did a lot when I was not working. And now I'm more in the sense of just, yeah, those things do exist, and I just hold some beliefs that maybe, I don't know where I want to, I don't want to get too personal, but basically, I'm skeptical. I'll put it that way. But to me, it's something, don't fall down the rabbit hole. That's all I can really say. So hopefully I'll enjoy that. See you later. Goodbye.